Welcome. Come on in. Gather round the fire, friends, where the snow falls in sheets and shadows grow long. This isn't the season of cheer. Not here. In these tales, carols turn to cries, gifts bring dread, and the warmth of the hearth can't stop the cold of what waits beyond the door. I'm Sam Hain, and tonight we'll unwrap the darker side of Christmas. After all, winter isn't the only thing that bites. Snowflakes whispered against the Callahan family's windowpane, but the house felt oddly cold despite the roaring fire. The Christmas tree twinkled, but its plastic branches bent awkwardly under the weight of store-bought ornaments. The scent of pine and cinnamon clung faintly to the air, courtesy of a small plug-in diffuser. Santa's coming tonight, Lily, the youngest, squealed. Her stuffed reindeer clutched tightly. Max, her older brother, rolled his eyes. You really believe that stuff? Joanna, their mother, sighed, her smile tired. We left cookies for him, remember? She gestured to the plate on the mantel. A few gingerbread men from a store-bought tin, hastily arranged. Mark, their father, checked his watch. Almost midnight, kids. Off to bed before Santa skips us. Lily skipped upstairs, excitement in her eyes. Max followed, his steps heavy. He paused halfway up, looking at the mantelpiece. His eyes lingered on the mismatched stockings and the dull, artificial tree. He clenched his jaw and went up without a word. Downstairs, Mark leaned back with a sigh. Another year done. Joanna nodded, staring at the fire. We did our best. That's all that matters, right? Mark shrugged. It's just tradition. What's the big deal? Joanna didn't answer. A draught curled through the room, snuffing out the warmth. The fire shrank, the flames curling inward, the shadows stretching. Then, a faint scratching echoed through the walls. Did you hear that? Joanna asked. Mark frowned. Probably mice, but the scratching grew louder, deliberate, slow, as though something was climbing. A chill crept up Joanna's spine. The fire dimmed further, and the scent of pine and cinnamon turned sour, tainted with something metallic. A knock echoed from inside the chimney. Mark laughed nervously. Santa? But his voice shook. The bricks shuddered. Ash fluttered down in a dark cascade. Then a hand, thin, too long, with too many joints, reached out. It tapped the plate of cookies, and they crumbled into dust. Imitation, a cold voice whispered. Hollow, careless. The figure pulled itself from the chimney, cloaked in tattered crimson robes smeared with soot. From beneath a hood, two pinpricks of white light glared. Mark's voice cracked. Who are you? The figure's whisper was ice on glass. I am the hollow shadow that comes when tradition dies, when belief decays. Joanna trembled. But we've always celebrated Christmas. Celebration without meaning, the figure hissed. Offerings without heart. You have forgotten. You invite emptiness, and emptiness arrives. The room grew colder. Frost webbed across the windows. Upstairs, a door creaked. Lily, Joanna cried, but her feet refused to move. The figure's hand tilted upward. The children, minds still moldable, still ready to believe. It drifted towards the stairs. Mark lunged, but the figure's cloak billowed out, swallowing him in a swirl of soot. When it receded, he was gone. Just a smear of ash on the floor. Joanna screamed, frozen by despair. Max lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. He tried to push away the disappointment gnawing at him, the half-hearted decorations, the cheap cookies, his parents' empty smiles. They didn't understand, not like he did. He'd spent nights reading about the old Christmas lore, the real traditions, the ones with meaning, the ones that held back the darkness. But he never said anything. He had to be cool after all. A chill slithered under his door, snaking around his ankles. The bedroom light flickered, and a whispering wind rattled his window. Then he heard it. Lily's frightened voice. "Mommy! Daddy!" Max bolted up. He sprinted into the hallway and saw the figure, a twisted shape of crimson and shadow, pushing open Lily's door. "No!" Max shouted, his voice crackling. The figure paused, turning its hollow gaze on him. "You cannot stop what you do not believe." Max's fist clenched. His heart pounded with fear, but something else stirred. Anger. He believed. He always had. He just never admitted it. "You're wrong," he shouted. "I know the traditions, the real ones, the ones that matter." The figure's eyes flared. "Empty words." Max stepped forward, his voice steady. "No, they're not. Christmas isn't just lights and cookies. It's about meaning. It's about giving. About protecting the light in the darkest time of year." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small object. A hand-carved wooden reindeer his grandmother had given him before she died. He'd kept it hidden, afraid of seeming uncool. Now, he held it high. This was made with love, with belief. That's what you want, isn't it? The figure hissed, its form flickering. "A true offering." Max's voice rose. "Leave my sister alone. She still believes too. And now, so do I." The figure recoiled as if burned, its shadow unravelling. The frost on the windows melted, and the air warmed. Lily's door slammed shut, shielding her from the figure's grasp. "No!" the figure shrieked, its form splintering. "You cannot reclaim what is lost." Max gritted his teeth. "It's not lost. We are taking it back." He clutched the reindeer tighter, and a warm light flared from his hand. The figure's cloak tore apart, shadows scattering like smoke in the wind. With a final, echoing screech, it dissolved, leaving only a swirl of soot that vanished into nothing. Joanna stumbled up the stairs, her eyes wide with shock. "Max?" He turned, breathing hard. "It's gone." She hugged him tightly. "How did you—" Max looked away, embarrassed. "I guess I always believed. I just didn't want to admit it." Lily peeked out of her room, clutching her stuffed reindeer. "Max, you saved me." He ruffled her hair. "We saved each other." Downstairs the fire roared back to life, warm and bright. The plastic decorations seemed less important now. Joanna looked at the broken cookies and the plastic stockings, guilt in her eyes. "We'll do better," she whispered. "We'll remember." Max nodded, a smile on his face. "We will." That night, for the first time in years, the Callahan family truly believed. And the darkness stayed away. As the last traces of darkness faded, the Callahan house felt different. Warmer, brighter, and more alive than it had in years. Plastic ornaments still hung from the branches, but their weight didn't seem as heavy. The flames danced in the fireplace, no longer desperate for warmth, but offering it freely. Max and Lily settled by the tree, the wooden reindeer between them, a symbol of belief restored. Joanna and Mark stood nearby, holding hands, their eyes shining with a new understanding. Christmas was more than lights, more than cookies. It was a thread woven through generations, a spark that only faded when forgotten. But now the spark was rekindled. Outside, the snow fell gently, no longer a cold whisper but a comforting hush. The shadows stayed beyond the windows, knowing they had no place here anymore. The Callahans had remembered. They had believed. And because they did, the light of Christmas burned brighter than ever. If you enjoyed The Christmas Visitor, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe for more spooky tales. And don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a story. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and keep that fire burning.